Hello, Namaskar viewers. I am Sanjeev Pandya welcoming you to this week's edition of the Business Talk with AJ right here on ITV Gold. The show is brought to you by Size CPA Services, a professional accounting firm can guide you and assist you with your personal as well as corporate tax returns. If you are a small business owner, mid-sized business owner, or even a large business owner, to have your taxes done right on a corporate level, that's a Size CPA Services for you. And of course, for your personal tax returns, Size CPA Service is your best option. Multiple locations in the state of New Jersey. They can be reached at 908-380-6876 or sizecpaservices.com. In the show as we go along, I will give you more information about Size CPA Services. But meantime, let me welcome Mr. AJ Kumar of Size CPA Services with over 25 years of experience, CPA and MBA when it comes to taxes and advising on your money, where to invest, where to have it parked so that way you can save taxes. That's Mr. AJ Kumar of Size CPA Services. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sanjeevji. I appreciate the kind introduction.
You are very welcome. Size CPA Services, that's what it's all about. So I am saying exactly what Size CPA Service they do. Anyway, folks, and AJ, in this edition of the Business Talk with AJ, there has been a major news which just occurred a couple of days ago, and this is going to be the talk of the town for several days, and especially on a Sundays in the talk shows, and political talk shows. This is going to be the story. The story has to do with the first time ever in the history of United States, sitting president's son is indicted on gun charges. I am talking about Hunter Biden, who just got indicted a couple of days ago on 2 counts of gun charges. One for purchasing the gun in 2017 and lying about it, and second charge is to have a gun while he was on the drugs, which is also illegal. Now this was not going to happen. They tried to have a plea deal a few months ago, but apparently that deal fell apart because there were a lot of inconsistencies in Hunter Biden's testimony. And finally, judge had given up on their plea bargain deal. Now the case is going on, and officially he's indicted on those 2 charges.
Absolutely. And what makes it more important, what makes it newsworthy, is the timing of this story. Right now, when we have the election coming up, when we have the primaries going on, the talks going on between the potential candidates, that's the time this story is coming out. And this it's not the first time that something big has happened, but what makes it more important is the timing of this whole situation when the charges are being brought against the son of a sitting president during the election time. So that creates a situation.
Well, timing is the one thing, but let's look at the history of Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden has been in the news ever since last election when Joe Biden won the election. He had been in the news because he was on the board of several energy companies, from Europe, and one being from Ukraine, and he was already making money. His connection with China, or even Joe Biden's connection with China back then when he was a vice president, that is also in the news. So there have been a lot of things around Hunter Biden. When he gave one of his laptops for repair at the repair shop in Delaware, and he forgot to pick it up, and there's been a lot of information coming out of that laptop. So my point is that this person has been already around controversy.
Absolutely.
But because of inconsistencies, because of lying about his child support case, to this gun case, and then to drug case, this really makes it really difficult for President Joe Biden to continue, because after all, character is what counts, right?
Absolutely.
And first man of U.S. and the president of United States of America has to have some moral values. But besides, AJ, I want to add one more thing, that some Democrats, they have come out and they said that they are very concerned about Joe Biden's age going into next year's election.
Absolutely, and that's a biggest factor.
Yeah.
We know he's 80 plus now, 81 plus, so it's the age when a lot of, and we are signing up for the next 4 years. It's not something that you do now and you're done tomorrow. Becoming the president means you're signing up for the next 4 years, and we have seen a lot of jokes and a lot of memes around him not being able to pay attention and him not being mentally there in a lot of situations. So I wouldn't be too surprised if, based on all Hunter Biden situation and everything else that's going on, Republican candidates may take a step back and find somebody else over there.
Exactly. And of course, it's a business talk, but in the business talk, we bring you these latest stories as well, because the stories are connected somehow, of course, with the US economy and everything else. The other story came out is that Mike McCarthy, a Republican minority leader, he came out and he said that they're going to start impeaching process for President Joe Biden. So let's see what happens over there. But now let's move to the other stories which are really, really going to be affecting our economy. One such story is, in case if you really haven't paid attention to UAW, United Auto Workers Union, this is the first time in the history that where US's major three auto manufacturers, General Motors, Ford, and the Chrysler, their employees, more than 145,000 employees, they're going on a strike, and their demand is to have 40% pay raise and 32 hours work week.
This is a big demand, and I'm not sure if they're going to get everything, but it's unheard of seeing 145,000 employees from UAW and from all three sectors going out on a strike at the same time. So in the next week, we'll see what the implications are, and I hope that the strike does not happen by the time you are seeing this
Or strike
news.
doesn't last that long, because
yes, absolutely.
they hadn't come to an agreement anytime sooner when the strike was going in there. But this is gonna affect economy very much.
And this election,
Yeah.
not just the economy. Of course, economy is going to be directly impacted. The election is going to be impacted as well, and I'm sure Mr. President Biden is trying very hard to avoid this strike.
He's been trying very hard, but anyway, let's see what happens. Now, stock market is something you really can't predict. Sometimes it goes in completely direction that you would be surprised. I'm talking about Dow Jones, which is on the rise lately, and it's been adding points.
Absolutely, a couple of hundred points, and it was going down for last few days, last 3 days. So it's all up and down. There are some positive news. The retail sector did slightly better than what we were expecting, Sanjeevji, and it was mainly because of the gas prices. Yeah. So it's misleading to say we did very well only because you did well because the price of the gas was higher than what it was last month. At the same time, retail sales shows positive results, especially in the lower sector. The high price sector, furnitures and bigger sector is still struggling. A lot of people are not investing money into it, but based on the CPI index, US economy is doing okay. US economy is not struggling as such, and unemployment remains on the lower side. Yes. So it's all positive news.
I know inflation is a concerning issue, and that's why we're going to see how Fed really looks into that inflation issue. Now, there may be when we talk about stocks, the time is coming up where I think investors are going to be very, very excited, because the largest IPO in 2 years is about to take place, and that has to do with a UK-based company called ARM.
Absolutely. So ARM is the symbol for the stocks. It's a huge company. It's a $32 billion company. They are planning to put 10% of their stocks, about 95.5 million stocks will be put on the stock market. And last time we saw such a big deal or such a big volume was in 2021, about 2 years ago. So it's not just that news. It's not ARM is getting on the stock market. It's more about the industry in general is showing more confidence in the IT sector. IT sector has been struggling for some time now. Having new IPOs, especially from the IT sector coming on board, shows a lot of positivity, a lot of confidence over there.
Okay, and this ARM is the chip manufacturer.
Absolutely.
So we must add that chip manufacturer, and they're looking forward to have a really good business with name companies, Apple and Samsung,
Google and
IBM,
and everybody else.
Google and
Absolutely.
everybody else. So in the Silicon Valley, it's going to be very, 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 very successful. Let's put it that way. The company values are $54 billion.
Well, it's a conglomerate. So this ARM division is 32 billion. But the point here is they're only putting 10% of the company on the stock market. 90% will still be privately held.
By SoftBank.
By SoftBank,
yes.
So it shows a lot of positivity. So if they lose everything in the stock market, they only lose 10%. So the company is holding 90% of the assets, 90% of the stocks. So they will do anything in their power not to lose their 90%. And will save your 10%. So it shows a lot of positivity in the market when you have only fraction of the stocks being put on the market.
Alrighty, so here we are now. We covered the stock market. We covered this largest IPO, which is going to be happening in nearly 2 years, and everyone's eyes are set on that IPO. Let's see what happens. We also covered gas prices and how it's affecting U.S. economy. Let's begin an unusual story. We always do. Furniture retailers are reporting sales are down.
Well, the high price item sales are down. People are buying what they have to buy. And it's very, very common in the summer months when people are out about having fun. Gas prices are typically higher in summer. So people spend what they have to spend. People do what they have to do. But nobody is going out of their way to buy a large furniture item or refurnishing the whole home. And the home build up, the new homes are not coming up as much as they were earlier. So the furniture market in general is a little bit struggling.
So that's why when I visit people's offices, I don't find new furniture. I still find old furniture and here and there. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so that's the news. With that note, we're going to take a short break. When we come back after this messages, the Business Talk will have more interesting business stories for you. Stay with us. Welcome back to the second half of the Business Talk with AJ, brought to you by Sai CPS Services. As I was telling you earlier, that I'll give you more details on Sai CPS Services. The details are such is that their on-hand, trained, experienced CPAs will help you with any tax-related problem you have. And when I say that, I really emphasize personal and the corporate tax returns. So don't think only that CPA firm is only for personal tax returns. They are very, very well trained, very well aware of all corporate tax laws and changes and the structures and whatnot, whether you have LLC, a partnership, or Inc., C corporation, S corporation. They will help you with anything. If there is a possibility that you are an IRS audit, they will also help you and guide you in the right direction. They have gained their clients' satisfaction, the highest satisfaction possible, and that's why they are the best in what they do. That's what Sai CPS Services is all about. You can give them a call and set up an appointment, in-person appointment, over the phone, over Zoom. And the number you need to reach is 908-380-6876. Their website is saicpsservices.com. While we are talking about Sai CPS Services, I want to add one thing. On Friday, September 29th, Mr. AJ Kumar of Sai CPS Services will have a live tax talk. It will be kind of town hall type of situation where he will give a presentation. He will talk about certain tax laws, what you should do, what you should not do, and why you should be aware of certain tax law changes, right? So it's going to be town hall kind of presentation where he'll be taking questions from the audience and giving you a lot more information. It's absolutely free of charge. No admission cost, but you need to be at ITV Auditorium on Oak Tree Road in Edison, New Jersey. ITV Auditorium, ITV Studio is right next to Big Cinemas in the same building. So be there on September 29th, Friday at 6 p.m. You'll see the flyer on the screen and be part of it. Come in there and take a look, listen to it. What are the tax law changes? And this is the right time to do that, because from September end or October to December, you're going to be making a lot of changes. You're going to be making a lot of adjustments to make sure that you pay less taxes. Remember, the tax amount must be done right. You want to pay less taxes by investing money somewhere else, and AJ will guide you. Absolutely. AJ, with that note, I hope you're getting ready for 29th.
Absolutely, Sanjeev. And I just want to remind, it's a free event again, free parking, free event. There will be dinner, there will be drinks. It's in Edison. If you live in New York, New Jersey, in the tri-state area, it's a golden opportunity for you to see firsthand how the tax planning is done. As Sanjeev rightly mentioned, this is the time. The last quarter is when the tax planning is done for all companies. We have seen a lot of talks as this rich guy doesn't pay taxes, that rich person does not pay taxes. This event talk about the tax loopholes in the system. It's not about why they don't pay the taxes, it's about how they don't pay the taxes. You will learn about captive insurance, carried interest, foreign accounts, a lot of these legal loopholes to say in the system, and we'll be talking about commonly missed deductions in the tax system that a lot of people miss. So it's a golden event, golden opportunity for you to see firsthand how you can manage your taxes better.
There you go. All right, now moving on to our business talk, the stories. How many of you really have gone ahead and booked Apple iPhone 15 for yourself? Listen, middle of September, you know iPhone is going to come out with the new phone model. They've been doing it. That's their custom. That's their tradition. Middle of September, they announce a new phone model. So, of course, this September, they reveal their latest smartphones, and it's iPhone 15. iPhone 15, just a flat, yep. iPhone 15 Plus, iPhone 15 Pro, and iPhone 15 Pro Max.
So they have 4 new iPhones, they have an Apple Watch, they have a lot of new gadgets that every year they bring in the market around September time, around mid-September time. So by Thanksgiving, a lot of these products are going to be easily available in the market with a lot of discounts. So this is when a lot of people go out of their way during the Thanksgiving to Christmas time and upgrade their iPhones and upgrade their gadgets.
There you go. So iPhone 15, iPhone 15 Plus, iPhone 15 Pro, and iPhone 15 Pro Plus.
And you also want to mention the price over there.
$799, $899, $999, and $1,199. 4 models, 4 prices. All right. That's and now they're coming. The first time ever they're coming out. This Apple iPhone with USB-C charger.
Yep. That's brand new. So going forward, the chargers that you used to use wouldn't be usable anymore.
Okay, and listen, I know some of you, many of you have Apple iWatches, so don't be discouraged. They also have newer models when it comes to, iWatches, Apple Watches. So that is going to be very interesting. All right, moving on to the next one. Google is laying off hundreds in its recruitment division.
So it's not just that they are laying off. The news is more about which department they are laying it off. They are laying off these people in the recruitment division because they know they will not be recruiting as many people in the future. So they're not letting go their IT staff or technical staff, they're letting go their recruitment staff. That's a big deal here. Even though the news has only hundreds of people, and from a Google perspective, hundreds may not be as many, but just the fact that they are laying off their recruitment division makes it a big news.
Because they are not hiring new people. Now, when a recruitment employee leaves a job and goes to another company for an interview in the recruitment department, you think they would know that exactly what the procedure is, how are they going to be hiring process and whatnot?
They do and they don't. Meaning each company has their own
I know that.
process.
I know. I'm just saying. Yes. I'm just saying that they would know what kind of questions going to be asked because most of the time they would have asked the same question to the new hiring.
Of course.
All right, so Google is laying off that recruitment division employees. Wells Fargo is in the news, right? And Wells Fargo could see their headcount declining as they are trying to lay off 40,000.
Wells Fargo has been in the news throughout the year for this penalty or that penalty for various reasons. And now, in order to make the bottom line, they are laying off 40,000 people from their branches. Okay. That's going to create a lot of pushback. They may be closing some of the branches as well. And Wells Fargo does not have as many branches as you see for other banks to begin with. So you will see a different business model when it comes to Wells Fargo.
Yep, and the bank has trimmed its mortgage businesses because most of the layoffs are coming out of their mortgage division. All right, with that note, as we bring the business news from the world, let's focus on India. A lot happening when it comes to business in India. Tesla. Absolutely. Tesla may source 1.9 billion parts this year, nearly twice of 2022.
So $1.9 billion is what we're talking about. That's a huge amount. And Tesla relying on India. And if you recall, Tesla's president, Elon Musk, had a meeting with the Prime Minister.
I was just going to say that.
Absolutely.
2 months ago, right here in Manhattan.
So that creates a lot of positivity. So it creates new business ventures. So if you're not a Modi fan, you see how things are changing for the country.
All right, so that's a good news. Tesla is investing. And now the good news is that G20, the entire G20 event completed very successfully. Each and every single state head really had praise for Narendra Modi and Narendra Modi's government and the individuals who really put the event together. It was well done. A lot of MOUs were signed.
Absolutely.
One big thing that everyone's noticing in the entire world, is the Middle East corridor.
Yes, they call it IMAC, India, Middle East, European corridor.
Correct.
A couple of 100 years ago, that was the corridor that was used for all the shipping, and not just the corridor. They're trying to create a railway line now that can potentially save 40% of the time in having any shipment going from India to Europe. It's going to take a couple of years. These things do not happen overnight. These things takes a lot of time, but it's a very positive news and will have long-term impact on India's economy.
This will benefit, of course, India, Middle East,
Absolutely.
Europe, and even all the way up to Russia, because Vladimir Putin, Russian president, he's so excited about this project. He said that's going to help Russia very much. And this Middle East corridor, I mean, nothing is impossible in the world, let's put it that way, right? But this, to build entire corridor going through all these Middle Eastern countries and the European countries, imagine how trade and, shipment and everything is going to be so accessible, so easy. Let's see what happens.
It was a hugely successful event when it comes to G20.
Okay, now I have a question. In this business talk, we always talk about money, right? I want to talk about, we're going to be focusing on sports. First, I want to talk about NFL. New York Jets, they actually brought in Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay, Wisconsin, because Aaron Rodgers wanted to leave Green Bay. He had been there for many years, right? He needed a new change, and Jets needed a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers being a four-time MVP and a Super Bowl champion, right? So they needed a quarterback which can add value to the team and make the team Super Bowl contender. On the opening night of the game, and the fourth play, Aaron Rodgers gets injured, and then he is out for the season. So now Aaron Rodgers' $175 million contract was migrated by Jets. Aaron Rodgers took a pay cut, knowing that, that he says, if I take a pay cut, it will be okay, because then we can accommodate more and more players. He's guaranteed $75 million bonus this year, where he's not even going to play a game. He's not going to play a game.
Wow.
All right. But he's going to be, I guess, motivator. He's going to cheer up and everybody. And he said he will be back. With this injury, maybe he needs 4 to 6 to 8 months of complete rest. Then he'll be back. But talk about this.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers, in 14th season in NFL, he has made $342,566,000.
That's a lot of money.
There you go. I just wanted to see that reaction. That's a lot of money.
And for playing the football.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about cricket. Asia Cup final, India versus Sri Lanka. One can say major upset, yes, maybe, but Sri Lanka and the Pakistan match was just unbelievable. Of course, rain has been a really spoiler in entire Asia Cup. Most of all the games that I know have been affected by rain, delayed, and then DLS method comes in. Same thing happened with Sri Lanka versus Pakistan game, and DLS method came in. They made it, I think, 45 overs, but then after rain break they came back and say 42 overs.
But you see, the format of the Asia Cup is such that you are playing so many matches among 4, 5, 6 countries.
That's okay, it's Asian countries.
But so you can't really be blaming the rain here. I think the
no,
Sri Lankan team is extremely good.
No, rain, you can't blame rain for the result of it, but rain definitely changed the game's semantics.
Well, of course.
Because
for one match it can.
Outfield is going to be wet. Pitch, you never know, ball's going to turn, spin, what's going to happen. And then mental set, because players are playing, now they're taking a break. Could be 30 minutes, could be 40 minutes, could be 1 hour, right? So then your body really, takes a different setup. But anyway, so India versus Sri Lanka in the final. Let's see what happens. Pakistan is out of the Asia Cup. They're going to have a lot of backlash back home. And now World Cup is around the corner. So let's see what happens. But that game, India versus Sri Lanka, is going to bring lots of money. India versus Bangladesh. Whatever happens in that game doesn't matter, because India is already in the final.
Yep.
So that will be on Sunday, September 17th. India
final.
versus Sri Lanka. Final game. Let's see what happens in that one. Once again, with that note, as we come to an end of the business talk this week on ITV Gold, just want to remind you, Friday, September 29th, free tax seminar presentation given by AJ Kumar of Science CPA Service, the gentleman that you see him on the screen. You can have a picture with him on that day also. It's going to be town hall type presentation. That means you can ask him a question, any tax related question, I'll be there as well. But and looking forward to meet you once again. It's going to be happening at ITV Auditorium in ITV Studio, which is right next to Big Cinemas building on Oak Tree Road in Edison, and we hope to see you there. AJ, once again, thank you so very much for your time.
Absolutely.
I am Sanjeev Pandya, wishing you all happy and tax-free days ahead. Hope you enjoy watching the Asia Cup final, and we'll see you next week, same place, same time. Until then, so long.
Thank you.